Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Let there be light. Good morning, Nevermore. I'm your host of the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airways on WNTF. Nevermind the Furthermore. All right, folks. As you know, it is time for our 3 times a week writer, author, and creative support show. And as you know, the only way I can keep doing this is with support. So first and foremost, I want to put a big old shout out to our own Joe Bachman over at IndieCD.org. Joe Bachman is an amazing person, and IndieCD.org is his masterpiece. A safe place where, in the ever-changing times of social media and ease of being deplatformed, one may keep their links up, may keep an online presence, and your one-stop shop for all the creatives you need to hire. Folks, we are dealing with a wave of artificial intelligence-related competition. And the best way to beat such a thing is to have us as creators, as humans, reach out and support the other creators and humans. I do not believe that artificial intelligence was meant to steal our opportunities to be creative. I think that is tragic. And no, I do not blame the programs themselves, because who knows, they may reach sentience and we may have an much more interesting discussion. But I do blame the people who wield them against other people. So the best way around that, I think at this time anyway, is to support the small creators out there doing what they can with the pluck of the rebellion. And the best place to find them, be they musicians or editors or writers, there are services you don't even realize you need that you can get through IndieCD.org. So folks, consider going there. And if you're looking to join for a short time, it's still only $10 a one-time payment. Get in. It's going to go up to $20 to handle the costs and all the other stuff. And who knows what will have to happen after that. Get your money in the bank now. All right. We're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, my original magnum opus on how to sword fight, how to teach sword fighting, how to go from you've never had a sword to holding your own practices. This is so vital in this day and age where people are losing actual physical education. And it's so important to learn skills like this to maintain your personal autonomy, to realize that you are a factor in the universe. And with all the cost that's out there, why not get a book that's written in plain English and features stick figures so that you can see the maneuvers laid out in easy to understand diagrams? Yours won't be this beat up. This is my personal copy. And speaking of personal copies, you can also get the Fighting Axe and the Simple Spear, the additions to that ongoing series where you can learn the finer arts of handling weaponry. And maybe you wish to escape. Maybe you wish to have a little fun just pushing miniatures around and blowing things up on the table. Consider the Big Stompy Robots core rulebook your intro to the wonderful world of Praxis 5, where giant walking engines of destruction stride merrily, laying waste to everything, and learn to play the game that's been amusing people for, well over 10 years now. So, with that said, let's get into my accountability and situation. And please like, share, and subscribe to this video if you haven't. Right now, and I mean right now because the other tablet is still open, I have been working on taking my Microlight RPG and polishing it up, putting in the parts I think it's always needed, and allowing it to bloom, allowing it to be something that I can sell. It is still the old school version, so that means negative armor class. But I have something else for the new schoolers coming out very soon as well. So I am working on that. When I get burnt out on that, I work a little bit more on Through the Thinning Veil. I am still quite delayed because I've been prepping for the first practice for the Historical Fencing Guild in quite some time. I'm not sure who all will be in attendance, but it has been laid out, and we shall see. If anything, I will go out and fight, gosh darn it. And that's a big deal for me, so that's been keeping me kind of occupied. Sorry. I also have been fighting a bit of stomach distress, so if I suddenly drop a commercial and run, you understand what's going on. Now, what else has been going on? I did catch up with the art, and it is there. And I hope you guys enjoyed that delayed art program. I will, as time allows, do more random art programs because I love doing them. My work on my study has also stalled, but that may be something that gets rectified today, depending on how much of an impressive I can pull out of nowhere. Now, I want to ask you guys some questions since I've got it here. And it looks like the comments are kind of quiet. My voice is all dork today. I know I'm not supposed to shout at the beginning of my show. It's rough on me. But what are you presenting to the world? Now, I want to ask this because it occurs to me that very few people actually go to their own social media and scroll through. It's like, why would I? I'm doing other things. Well, because social media is a product, and just like anything else, especially writers create, it reflects on us. So I'm wondering how many of you have gone back and looked. And when you do, I want you guys, and I hope most of you stop and do this. What are you saying to the universe at large? What kind of energy are you putting out there? And is it the energy you want? Because I know some people who would never describe themselves as being very negative. But if you go through their social media feed, everything is negative. And we are really in an arc where we need to build each other up and not tear each other down. And we need to learn to look past the things that divide us so that we can connect better on a moral standing with fellow humans, on a social standing to have peace, and on a commercial standing to gain customers. civility is something that we really need to look towards, and simple positivity. Now, I'm not saying toxic positivity. I'm not saying turn a blind eye to everything wrong in the world and everything that bothers you. And I certainly would never say to silence others, but I would say think of who you are presenting and look at yourself. Reevaluate. For a lot of reasons, this is a very difficult time of year for me, and it is a time of introspection and reflection. And I'll probably get more into that Friday because it's a little closer. But I will say this: think of who you are, what you do, what your products say about you. You know, when I say products, I have to use terms like that because what we write says things about us. What we draw says things about us. The music we make, it says things about us. And ask yourself, do I like what's being said? Is it accurate? And is it who I want to be? Because I think before we can improve in anything, guys, from how you sword fight to how you draw to how you write, you have to analyze where you are honestly and with a level of wholesome compassion. You know, it's necessary to be honest with yourself. It's necessary to have discipline, but it's also necessary to have compassion because you can always stop and go, today is the day I'm kinder than I was. Today is the day I'm better than I was. Today's the day I work on either the skill set or the morality or, you know, the quality, because we're always growing, we're always building. And to get to the next level, you have to be ready to be on that level. You have to be working towards being on that level. It's the whole, if you're a level one kind of situation where you're just getting started out, there is nothing wrong with having your eyes and working towards what you want for level three. Because if you're working that way and you're keeping your mind clear and you'll get to level two pretty quick. And that sort of mental advancement, and I know it's very hard to quantify, but I'm a gamer. I do game design. I sometimes think in game design terms. That is the way to get better, but you can't do it without honest assessment. And we live in a world that exists to keep us distracted and to blind us to our own faults and strengths, because it profits others for us to not be aware of what we can and cannot do. And this lack of personal information, I think, serves to hinder us greatly. And I want to tell you, you learn more from failure than you do success. And, you know, things that look like may not have gone as well as they could have teach you a lot. This is Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, the role-playing game. I'm proud of this game. I put a lot of effort into this and into the core book. It is no longer available on Fund My Comic. It is no longer available on Indiegogo. The copies of the Quick Play exist. You'll have to get from me or Luke. According to him, the core rulebook is coming, as is the best payment he can manage. It did not do what we hoped. And I'm putting that out there not to bash anybody, but to say, okay, that's a gut punch. I'm not going to lie, it's a gut punch. But it also, I learned so much on the journey. And it has me working on other things, because a lot of times, you know, working with things, you learn what you didn't like or what you did like. And I'm not bashing Luke. Luke's a good guy. And he's trying to be a better guy. And I think that's important. what I am saying is you learn from when things don't work out right. Because sometimes the stars just don't align. Things get lost in the shuffle. So what do you do? Well, my logic is, okay, things went gunny bag. The only thing you can do is keep walking and learn from it. Now, I made some great connections. I learned games, and I learned where my weaknesses are. And believe it or not, one of my greatest weaknesses, and what holds me back from a lot of things in publishing, is how I format. So I am looking for my own development on improving my formatting skills and tinkering with the different tools that I have. Because formatting, especially for Amazon, is challenging. And that's what we have to do. Because when you are a one-man show or a two-man show, or you wear a lot of hats. Now I mentioned Luke. I want to mention Joe Bachman, because Joe Bachman is my other business partner that I've done other things with, and there are things coming from Joe and I in the distant works that I consider truly bucket list dreams, and it will be very cool. I have faith in that man, and I can't wait to see what works and what he needs from me. I'm about halfway through a very important video that I have to watch about some of that, but it also taught me not to hold my breath on one project. When you're collaborating, you can't just sit and wait for somebody else, and that's hard. It's part of the ADD mindset, ADHD mindset, where I have something coming, like I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. I'm afraid to start anything else while that's coming. Working through that, learning to be able to do the other things while you're waiting on something else, that multitasking, which comes so alien to me at points, is necessary. And it is good in moderation, because I've done too much at the same time, and I had burnt myself out drastically, and I'm still recovering from it. And I may spend the rest of my life recovering from it for a couple of things I've done. But learning the ways you deal with your partners, what you get, what you can get, and how things arc around, makes you better. And to borrow from one of my favorite programs of all time, being Firefly, we have done the impossible, and it makes us mighty. Any of us who've made a cent, okay, a single solitary sliver of a penny on any of our productions, when you look at the Goliaths that oppose us, huge marketing and media engines grinding out content, the fact that anyone buys our books, friends, is so statistically minute that we are instantly statistic outliers. We are operating outside the expected systems, and doing so with style and panache. And I dare say it is nothing short of heroic, because it takes a level of spiritual strength and defiance to say, you know what, I'm going to write my own book. I'm going to publish it, because there are millions of people, millions who want to write. And of that, hundreds of thousands, actually write. And of that, how many actually publish? And of that, how many ever make a cent? Think about the numbers, think about the colossal scope of humanity and pull that down and realize just how heroic you guys are. I am not a monetary success. I'm simply not. I mean, I've made more money than I put into it more often than not. And that's good. And I'm still at it. I haven't failed till I stop trying. If I keep failing and failing and failing, eventually I'll succeed in something. But the second I stop, then I have indeed failed. But guys, and I'm going to get to the comments. I know I'm running long. As long as we're trying, as long as we are defiantly going into the breach, we are doing the impossible, and that makes us mighty. And it's funny because it could all go away, guys. The computers could crash. All it would take is a solar flare. Economies could crumble. Nations switch sides. But as long as I can put pen to paper, I can tell my stories. As long as you can put pen to paper, you can tell your stories. Do your art. And the fact that we create such art on this hilarious hump day, because I know you guys are going to need some of that energy. It's miraculous. Now, I recently had a gentleman inform me that in his opinion, and he's right to his opinion, that unless you have been published the traditional way, you are not an author. To it, I say, you are entitled to your opinion. In America, you have the right to be wrong. Because if there's one thing as a creative I despise, it is when unnecessary middlemen impede the flow of creativity solely to justify their existence. Now, it's true. We may need middlemen. Middlemen have an important function, especially since as authors and creative stuff, we can't wear all the hats. Lord knows I try. My dad had dropped the line Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. It's a book reference. But, author, artist, game designer, near auctioneer, carnival barker, whatever we have to be to get the job done. Organizer, accountant, driver, packer, roadie. But there is a difference between what you do and what you are. Some people are authors who happen to work cashiering. And some people just happen to be cashiers. And there's nothing wrong with being a cashier. I've worked as a cashier. I've worked as a great many jobs. And if that's what you do, and it feeds your family, and you go home and you relax, and that's life, you're living a good life. You're doing good on this earth. If that's you. But if you're creative, to not create is to not breathe. It's to to not eat. It's to not exhale. You see, I want to think about that. Creativity is part of a two-part process for at least for me. I have to inhale. I have to absorb beauty and ugliness and stories and inspiration, designs and techniques, and then exhale the creativity that I form with my thoughts, however disjointed, and my skills, however rudimentary, and work and build on them. That is the process of intellectual respiration for me. And what we take in affects what we put out. So check your breathing. Look at your works, but look at your social media. Look at that of others, and ask a couple important things. Am I learning from them? Am I teaching them? Am I bettered by their presence? And am I bettering their world? And if you have trouble keeping these kind of things together, I suggest severing ties politely. You don't have to be vicious, but sometimes you just walk away. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're like, this is my friend. They're a butt, but there's something about them that makes it worthwhile. You do the best you can for people, and you watch who you are and who they make you. So look into what you're doing. There's one more thing you should ask people. And ask them regularly. Ask if they're okay. Because, you get a lot of answers with that, and a lot of people will give you a borderline nihilistic, after the pandemic, no one's okay. And that might be true. But if you have empathy, please apply it. Because we are in a time that it's a crucible. And anybody who thinks it's stopped may be set up for a very unpleasant set of surprises. But we can decide what we're doing with it. So, I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what your accountability is. I want to know what you're bringing forward. So what I'm going to do, I know I went very long in my intro, and I apologize for that. I'm going to run an ad, and then we will go into your comments, because it's Wednesday and I can run late. So let's run. You know what? Joe helps make this show possible. Let's run Joe's ad. As soon as I find it. I have to reorganize my ads again.
Hi, I'm Joe Bachman with Behind the Code, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch on the Independent Creator Directory pages. On this show, you'll be able to watch me go through and update the Independent Creator Directory website with new features or new members, depending on what we have going on that week. Again, that's Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch on the Independent Creator Directory page. Joe Bachman again with The Burning is Love, on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time, also on the Independent Creator Directory Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch pages. To find out more about the Independent Creator Directory, visit indiecd.org to find other great authors, artists, game designers, and live streamers. On this stream, you'll get to watch me go through and do various word burning projects that I put on theburningislove.com. I look forward to seeing you guys there and hope you have a great day.
Yeah, we're working on it, Joe. And speaking of great days, let's hit this lovely, well-neglected chat. But let's go on. Whoo, got a big old comment dump. You guys have been chatty. Awesome. First through the door at 9:29 was my man Rich. Hey, Rich. Good morning, folks. And we got Rich's here. We're here early. No Donna today, though. Off with her friend. You know, I miss Donna. And I know I won't be able to spend much time in the Verdant Palace, a.k.a. the Green Room, because I have such a busy Saturday planned. But maybe I can get in. I miss chatting with Donna. Accountability. Did some real writing yesterday and even did some work on the spy novel. Just needed to wait it out, I guess. Yes. Wonderful news. I love hearing that Carl Witzman, of all people, is working on more work. You've got such a wonderful, sharp, analytical, and creative mind that, you know, I'm excited by your productions. And we're joined by Alex Gracious. Hey, Alex, morning. I've class at 10, so I won't be here, sadly. Just stopping by to say hi. Hi, I hope you catch it in the rerun. Well, thanks for saying. Oh, calling out Nick. His wife said he told her to go buy French fries. He was upset. The French stole his fries. Joking. Okay. No. I told her to get Belgian waffles. No, I'm kidding. Morning. Good morning, Dawn. For anyone buying a book at Lulu before the 19th, use Course Books 15 to save 15%. I really need to dig through Lulu's content sometimes. And Rich is either waving or washing his hand. I can't tell with that emoji. If I might suggest looking at Donna's books, some print and ebooks. Yes, please do. Lulu.com/search Donna Carly. Guys, a note on the searches. Can you just do a direct link? Will it come up easier? Because I keep seeing a lot of people who share links are sharing it with the search format. And for the purpose of readability, it may be better to go all the way to her site and then check what the gobbledygook above is. Hey, Dawn, you caught me mid-promo. Ha, 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 ha. That's fine. I'm good at getting in the way. You are an effervescent being of light, and we love having you around, Dawn. LOL. Either LOL or the little stick man's drowning. Greetings to everyone here. Dawn. Charcoal was asleep until Brother Calvin hopped on the same cabinet. I told him not to jump on the bookshelf, and he huffed off. You are not in the way, see? Buddy has a quarter in him. They just jumped from the top of the taller tower. Oh, for a second I thought he'd swallowed a coin. Yeah, me too. Whew. Hey, I found a scene from an abandoned story I'm now rewriting into the spy novel. He's escaping from Nazi soldiers during World War II. It will have a surprising twist. Ooh. Hey. There was a story about him, or was recently aired. Guess who is typing on her phone? Hi, Don. Yeah, I have dumb thumbs too. Which reminds me, I haven't been doing my hand exercises. You guys rock, because you guys always remind me that I have to do things that I forget to do. I may be getting my ears lowered in the near future too. Very cool. I figured out a way to write in the truth. Right in the book. You're doing better than Aunt Donna, who couldn't be bothered to show up today. That's okay. I was using an expression on Buddy, now Georgette. She probably would eat a quarter. Is it she with her sister and or friends? Yes, with her evil sister. Evil sister. Does that mean Duna is going out? Tomorrow we go to Champagne to meet another of her new sisters. How splendid that must be. Oh, yes, I met her at Julie's celebration. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon the yawn. It's not you guys. I can never reach the mute button before I have to cough or sneeze. You probably met while admiring Calvin on the stairs. Photos of charcoal lying in a sunbeam will be on FB later. Aww. Oh, I would take and post pics of Buddy, but they would just be orange streaks. Dancing to the theme music, dropping my like, etc. Fade from black. Hey, my loves. Hey, Grant. Glad to be someone's love. How you doing? We got greetings. You are not a doofus. And, it's a good idea to look at your own media, plus to Google yourself. It's amazing what you might find. I find there are a few relatives out there that still matter. My last name is not very common, so I get to read about the adventures of Renaud Tockert, who is a fascinating gentleman. Yes, why allegedly are you a doofus? Doink. Good morning. Good morning. Happy hump day, my fine furry friends. Well, I am furry and I'm trying to be fine. Yeah, my hair is rebelling today. But good morning, Joe, because I keep getting distracted on Monday nights. Well, Monday nights can be a distracting time. We watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's on Paramount, and I will say, very good. Probably an 8 of 10. And with repeated watchings, we'll get that nostalgia mojo revved up. A lot of fun. Chris Pine's brilliant. Even if he does remind me eerily of my littlest brother. Lately, I've been afraid to change my name. Afraid I need to change my social media name to Bob Wheeler. Okay. Joe. Yes, I Googled myself once. Apparently, there's a Joe Bachman who's a country singer. Kept me from getting JoeBachman.com for a while back. Nick Glenn! He's got new books and stuff out. But check this out. It's about my Kirby book. Yes, watch that. How are you? Joe B. Glenn. Now, in bookstores throughout the world, Glenn B. Fleming is coming today in the new blockbuster, When Kirby Attacks. Mild-mannered artist, author, and general old coot whom I love, Glenn B. Fleming, has resurrected the spirit of Jack Kirby and unleashed his wrath upon those upstart colonials. I don't know. I don't know where that bit came from, but I regret nothing. Johnny says, yes, I do. I'm proud of everything. As you should be. You are a heck of an artist, and you should be making bank. And if there's anybody who has money and they're doing books involving an incredibly attractive female protagonist, please reach out to Johnny at JP7. Oh my gosh, this is art amazing. Somebody needs to use it. Just hire him so that he puts more art out, please. And we got more greetings, and we got laughs and giggles. I know what you mean. Yesterday was a rough day productivity-wise. Not my fault, just didn't pan out. I've had a couple that hit me that just were not because of my conditions. As I bet Don best can express, the pressure shifts just right, or I eat the wrong thing and I'm done. I was very done for a couple days, so I'm a little behind. But we're getting through it, and that's what matters. And we're getting through it together. Morning, all. Morning, Nick. Good morning, Joe. And you know what? I'll do it. I'm going to run his old ad. I like his old ad. It's a smooth bit of music.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Yeah, Joe's a heck of a creator. He's got a good game under his belt. Can't wait to see that get launched. I just want to see people succeed. And Glenn's greeting him, and Dawn's greeting everybody. Angie and I were driving around to deliver local Kickstarter people. And between traffic and stores, it just didn't pan out. Now, I know you were delivering things to the Kickstarters, but now I just had this image of you with a big, like, white van opening up and just handing people out. Oh, with Kickstarter, here you go. I don't know what they do. Maybe they kick someone in the butt, or they start their motorcycles for them or something. I have a hyper-literal mind, and every once in a while I'll read something like that. It has a heyday. When I was very, very small, very, very small, little Nick, I was convinced firemen were people who went around to campgrounds and started fires for people. Well, they had an axe, and they all wore red, and they were always around where there was fire. So I just thought firemen started the fires. Yo, Dawn, all. Hi, we got greetings. Smiley greetings. Sorry, flipping between screens. Need to figure out how to get a monitor mounted in this truck. I saw the guy who sells Flex Seal run through my mind. I just saw like a crack open up in your truck. Well, here, we can fix that with Flex Tape. That's a lot of damage. But I'm sure there's a way with enough adhesive. Just don't use command hooks, even though I love command hooks. Some days just don't work out great. Yep. All the hellos can get overwhelming sometimes, right? Yeah. For what Nick was talking about, sometimes you can do everything correctly, but you didn't connect with your audience. Social media is a shotgun approach. Hard to find your people. And social media, I think, now bear with me, is like the midnight zone, the depths of the ocean. We're all floating around in the dark. And, we have this problem of we can put out a light. Here's a light. Boing. And that light sometimes attracts our people, and it's awesome. But it also attracts predators. And sometimes it attracts prey. It's very confusing. And yeah, that's how social media feels to me. I expect Jacques Cousteau to come. As we journey through the bowels of the deep, we see the magnificent anglerfish putting on its display of light and wonder. Anyway, I got an email, Grant. Super excited. I was hoping for hand delivery. And I need to move this to there, so it's a little quicker on the grab. While I'm here, I'm going to move that down because I also often have to be able to pull up this for Dawn when she's had a bad day. I literally keep this picture in my things and I haven't pulled it out because Dawn sometimes has bad days, and if I can help it, helps. Plus, everybody loves Buddy and Georgette. It's okay to talk about expectations. Sometimes we have to be forced to recognize where some of them may have been unreasonable and where some were missed due to one's own actions. Accountability at heart. Yep. The problem today is that everyone gets a winner's medal. You know, they say that, and my problem is I'd never witnessed that. And it may be because I grew up in a very conservative area, but I have not seen a lot of that. You see. Grant says, unfortunately, I only hand deliver local people. Oh, my. What kind of people are you delivering? Oh, I just, oh, God, I wish I had it prepped because I have somewhere an image of Jack Sparrow going, people ain't cargo, mate. Anyway. People aren't cargo, mate. My two books sold the best have done so over a long period. One has been out since the 80s, probably sold 1,000 copies, maybe. That's progress. I'm local compared to someone that lives on Pluto, just saying, yeah, but the property rates are so cheap, especially since it got downgraded to a dwarf planet. It was all an insurance and all in a real estate plan for those guys from Alpha Centauri. Don't be fooled. No, I'm kidding. Dan Hollifield is not here to confirm. I didn't know you've been writing that long. Oh, I've been writing since grade school, but my first self-published book was right after college in the 80s. Yet, Shape Up Your Memory is still available on Lulu. I play the long game. Yeah, you know what? My best-selling book has been at it since 2016. My first book, The Simple Sword, still is the one that goes the farthest. My games do not move nearly as well digitally as I would hope, but boy, do those sword books go. Yes, accountability. Currently learning Godot 3. A 2 and 3D game engine. My shows are going to be on hiatus for foreseeable future due to work. Once my work schedule calms down a bit, I will resume. I am so excited about this. I am really excited about this. Gatekeeping to build one's ego. Yeah, that's something terrifying. Will you be Are you designing a video game? I say nothing. No, I'm not saying anything. I'm not giving any hits whatsoever. No, there's nothing right here. No. I mean, what? No. What I need from Joe, what do I need to learn to give assets to you? Because I'm sure you will need digital assets. Understandable, Joby. Good point, Rich. I would Google some of you, but I'm scared. I've been enough publishing online. I did find out that I have an IMDb. And it only references my visit on the Tales of the Time-Traveling TARDIS. Tales of the Traveling TARDIS. I lost the gentleman who runs its name. But apparently that was enough to score me an IMDb, so I have one. I really should expand that, but I don't know how. I think you have to pay to do that. Hopefully, we'll have a base game done by the end of the year. Full game maybe by next year if I can learn the script and get the sprites needed. Tell me what you need. I will start learning a new program if I have to. I have an idea for a board game I'm thinking of putting some work into. That is one of those things I have not been able to find, a print-on-demand board game service. because there are things coming. I mean, that really could use a good print-on-demand board game service. So if you find one, Grant, let me know. And if you have game design, I've designed them. I've helped design games. I just don't. 1 second. One moment. Let me run a commercial while I deal with this.
Hazel always knew there was something special about her cat Mooney, but she's still shocked when Mooney opens his mouth to tell her he's just had a vision. An ancient evil has awoken after centuries of sleep, and only one man can stop it, the legendary warrior Beowulf. Unfortunately, it's been over 1,000 years since he slayed a dragon, and he's been reincarnated as this guy. His name is Victor, and he's more unemployed millennial slacker than mighty warrior.
Chaos. And the commercial is well over. Sorry about that. A little bit of parental Tourette's. Sandra woke up and wanted to let me know that he got his Mountain Dew and that he was doing okay, but he wanted a hug. So I gave him a hug because that's, you got to set up your importance. Now, let's see. Here we go. I met a board game developer at a Comic-Con bus. I was talking to him about it, but I don't know if I want to give up my idea. Was it Pete Petrushka by any chance? Because I know from everything I've heard, he's a very good guy. But yeah, I wouldn't get into too much detail of the board game without some kind of contract first. Don, I Googled myself, which I do occasionally. Something new came up, but it isn't me. I'm sorry, I'm remembering a bit I just saw where somebody didn't quite understand the meaning of the word Google. Dawn, being of light, pun intended. It's an eye-opener, Dawn. You can find links to all of Donna's books on her Indie CD page, as all the great creators here. Thanks, Joe. Thanks. And a lake. Do lost. That makes sense. Don and I talk at lunch. Is anyone we know on YouTube tonight? Oh my gosh, yes. He could lower the music a bit. It was drowning out his voice. It does do that. Sorry about that. Hello, Nick. Hello. I hope you're having a good time. And yes, some person is the kind of person who likes to keep their secrets somewhat. So I will never out their name. We all float down here. I didn't realize hand delivery was innuendo. I must be naive. Not naive, just not as dirty-minded as some people here. You see, there are 3 classes of dirty-mindedness. You have your prevert, which is somebody who's experimenting with it. It is the level of dirty-minded where they giggle at the word boobs, Then you have your classic pervert, fine, upstanding scoundrel who can find innuendo where it may lay. And then you have a provert. Yes, the provert is a professional pervert who can find innuendo in anything and apply it to anything. All logic forms of thought communication may be twisted at the slightest hint of potential. A dangerous and formidable breed. Like Dawn. No, anyway. Oh, a Joby and Nick T video game. Well, honestly, yes, definitely on that. But I can't wait because Joe Buckman is amazing. And if I have sprites for some projects. And anyway, I was learning different game programs before they killed Flash, which I mourn because it was a great world. But yes, that is coming. And I have dates, and I am so excited. Bucket list time. Major bucket list time. And remember, we also have apps over on JB Tech Apps. No, that's the bit.ly. Oh, I'm on IMDb too, but my name is not spelled right. Got the Carl Kolchak problem, huh? I have an IMDb for a voice in Victims of Circumstance. I'm literally the first voice in the movie being tortured off screen. Awesome! It was for Willow's Pillow Talk with Willow Schuyler. Wow. I was being innocent, of course. Of course you were, dear. Now you just lay back down and relax. Don't worry. Morning, folks. Morning, the Eric Hopkins. Basically, 2D sprites are what we need right now. I'm not sure what format they need to be, but that's supposed to be later in tutorials on how to create sprites. Cool. We'll talk. You just, like I said, you tell me what you want, and I will. Especially if we're doing like 2D sprites, I can do that. I actually have a whole folder of old 2D sprites I did for a game I was developing that the company went under many, many years ago. Next year, Grant, we'll have an army of cats delivering his Kickstarter works. Okay, it isn't, shoot, a guy named Ginger Sid does really cute voiceovers of different comics, usually of slightly spicy content. There's innuendo or humor, but did one about a delivery cat. If I could find the link, I'll send it to you, and then you can have clarity, because that's where I live. Hi, Eric. Ooh, and we have a comment dump. That means I've been doing my job. Hit me up on board game services. One of the reasons I've stagnated on the RPG is because Mike, Jimmy, and I is looking into the very service later. I will share info. Oh, thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that. The Eric Hawkins. And then I took a phone call, so I missed the fun stuff. No, but we miss you. That darn lake in England. Are you saying that we can go splash around in Don Dulas? Okay, guys, gotta run some errands. Hey, you gotta go fast. That was for the previous video. Oh, I figured it was. He fixed it in a later version, but he made it long enough that I have to do some editing, and there was a little bit of other issues. If I can get my trimmer to work, I might be able to zip it down to something I can throw. Because if I throw an ad more than about a minute long, I almost always lose viewers. So that's why I try to keep the ads very short. Pleasure seeing you all again. It's always a pleasure, Grant. Bye, Grant. Flash was such a resource hog and had a security risk. It wasn't even fun. I know, but you got to understand, I grew up on Flash. You may want to try Mugen too if you are into sprite-based games. Good to know. I need to hop, though. I need to get a few things done on the job that the engineer wants done that have no effect on the job. Fun. And that catches us up at the hour mark. I will run an ad, and we'll see if there's anything anybody else wants to talk about. And then we'll keep on trucking. So let's see. Oh. God, I love that music. It's so creepy. And it really is a fun, wonderful ad because who doesn't love a good chill? Let's see. I almost did a split take looking myself up. Mr. Rogers came up since his full name is Fred McFeely Rogers. Taking my. Hit me up, Nick, later on Board Game Printing Services. I got that. Yes, I did. And I commented on it, but it is appreciated. Just because I love to know what kind of formatting and what things are needed, because boy, do I have a project that will involve a lot of small parts. Wasn't sure if you saw that earlier. Yes, I did. And I appreciate it wholeheartedly. So we are past the hour mark, and it sounds like everybody is settling down to get on with their weekend. Wow. Yeah. It's Wednesday, my dudes. And honestly, I would love to get some stuff done work-wise, so I may just have to drop out and say this has been a good program. I will be back Friday for another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. And Friday night, see, we're starting, cat lunchtime. Everybody have a good day. See, I know you guys. You have about an hour in the morning, and I don't want to overstep. Sorry, I had to reboot for a second. The Historical Fencing Guild live stream will be at 8 p.m. over on my other channel. Please be subscribed to both. I potentially lose viewers having two channels, but they were set up so I could keep things separate. Since I am planning to have guests Saturday, I will not be doing an art stream Saturday. That will either be done Sunday or earlier, depending on my progress and how I am feeling. Beyond that, guys, good stuff is coming. I'm insanely happy to hear from Joe Buckman about what he's working on. And I want you guys to really take to heart what I thought about. Reach out to folks and look at who you are presenting yourself, what you're presenting yourself as online. Because we all basically wear a mask of this computer screen. Well, except me, because I basically play my cards on the table face up like a yutz, but I can't help it. It's what I am. Guys, I want you to get creating. I'm serious. But create for a reason. Do good. It matters. Be kind. It matters. And be kind to yourselves, because there's too little of that in the world. With that, I'm just going to say, guys, have a wonderful day. I love y'all. And toodles.